All right, today we're going to start on our first read aloud of the semester, and that will be Wonder. How many of you guys have read Wonder before?
Not.
So, this is a book and a conversation that we're familiar with. How many of you have read Augie and Me?
No.
So, Augie and Me is the next book in the series, and it looks at how everybody felt about meeting Augie for the first time. Right? So we're going to be talking a lot about perspectives as this semester goes on, and how one story can have multiple perspectives, and we'll be doing that, incorporating that in our history as well. I just wanted to get kind of a pulse for everybody. Raise your hand if you walked into a spot and felt different, like you just didn't belong, right? It's a pretty common experience. Do you have places, though, where you go and you totally feel like you fit in? And you're like, these are my people. Church, is that for you?
Almost people.
Those are my people. How many of you have started a brand new school? That's all of you, right? That was this year. Even already knowing people and knowing what school is like, was it scary? Little bit? Little bit? Yeah? And then, lastly, I want you to think about, and this maybe is not a public share, this is more an introspection. How do you respond when you see somebody who really does look different? Whether it's missing a limb, being disfigured, maybe it's just a look or an ethnicity you're not used to. What are the physical, natural responses that you have? And how can we, as we're thinking this through, make people who don't look maybe atypical feel comfortable? And we're going to have that conversation. And we're also going to be nice to our friends, even when they're not nice to Augie, because we all have a story. Yes? Yeah. All right, so this is Wonder, written by R.J. Palacio. I know there's a movie. The book is always better. All right, ordinary. I'm not an ordinary 10-year-old kid. I mean, sure, I do ordinary things. I eat ice cream. I ride my bike. I play ball. I have an Xbox. Stuff like that makes me ordinary, I guess. And I feel ordinary on the inside. But I know ordinary kids don't make other ordinary kids run away screaming in the playground. I know ordinary kids don't get stared at wherever they go. I found a magic lamp, and I could have one wish. I would wish that I had a normal face that no one ever noticed at all. I would wish that I could walk down the street without people seeing me and then doing that look away thing. Here's what I think. The only reason I'm not ordinary is that no one else sees me that way. Kind of used to it now, how I look. I know how to pretend that I don't see the faces people make. We've all gotten pretty good at that sort of thing. Me, Mom, and Dad, Via. Actually, I take that back. Via's not so good at it. She can get really annoyed when people do something rude. Like, for instance, one time in the playground, some older kids made some noises. I don't even know that they knew what the noises were exactly, because I didn't hear them myself. But Via heard, and she started yelling at those kids. That's the way she is. I'm not that way. Via doesn't see me as ordinary. She says she does, but if I were ordinary, she wouldn't feel like she needs to protect me as much. And Mom and Dad don't see me as ordinary either. They see me as extraordinary. I think the only person in the world who realizes how ordinary I am is me. My name is August, by the way. I won't describe what I look like. Whatever you're thinking, it's probably worse. Chapter 2, Why I Didn't Go to School. Next week, I start 5th grade. I've never been to a real school before. I'm pretty much totally and completely petrified. People think I haven't gone to school because of the way I look, but that's not it. It's because of all the surgeries I've had. 27 since I was born. The bigger ones happened before I was even 4 years old, so I don't remember those. But I've had 2 or 3 surgeries every year since then. Some big, some small. And because I'm so little for my age and I have some other medical mysteries the doctors have never really figured out, I used to get sick a lot. That's why my parents decided it was better if I didn't go to school. I'm much stronger now, though. The last surgery I had was 8 months ago, and I probably won't have to have another one for a couple of years. Mom homeschools me. She used to be a children's book illustrator. She draws really great fairies and mermaids. Her boy stuff isn't so hot, though. She tried once to draw me a Darth Vader, but it ended up looking like some sort of weird mushroom-shaped robot. I haven't seen her draw anything in a long time. I think she's too busy taking care of me and Via. I can't always say I wanted to go to school because that wouldn't be exactly true. What I wanted was to go to school, but only if I could be like every other kid going to school. Have lots of friends, hang out after school, and stuff like that. I have a few really good friends now. Christopher is my best friend, followed by Zachary and Alex. We've each known each other since we were babies. And since they've always known me the way I am, they're used to me. When we were little, we used to have play dates all the time, but then Christopher moved to Bridgeport in Connecticut. That's more than an hour away from where I live in North River Heights, which is at the tip top of Manhattan. And Zachary and Alex started going to school. It's funny, even though Christopher's the one who moved far away, I still see him more than I see Zachary and Alex. They all have these new friends now. If we bump into each other on the street, they are still nice to me, though. They always say hello. I have other friends, too, but not as good as Christopher and Zach and Alex were. For instance, Zach and Alex always invited me to their birthday parties when we were little. But Joel and Iman and Gabe never did. Emma invited me once, but I haven't seen her in a long time. And of course, I always go to Christopher's birthday. Maybe I'm making too big of a deal about birthday parties. Chapter 3, How I Came to Life. Do you guys, and again, this is a retrospective or introspective question, do you know your birth story? You know, like on my kids' birthdays, we always talk about the day you were born. Might be a fun question to go home and ask. Here is his birth story. How I came to life. I like when Mom tells this story because it makes me laugh so much. Well, it's not actually funny in the way a joke is funny. But when Mom tells it, Via and I totally start cracking up. When I was in my mom's stomach, no one had any idea I would come out looking the way I look. Mom had had Via 4 years before, and that had pretty much been such a walk in the park, that's Mom's expression, that there was no reason to run any special tests. About 2 months before I was born, the doctors realized something was wrong with my face, but they didn't think it was going to be that bad. They told Mom and Dad I had a cleft palate and some other stuff going on. They called it small anomalies. There were 2 nurses in the delivery room that night. One was very nice and sweet. The other one, Mom said, did not seem so nice or sweet at all. She had very big arms, and here comes the funny part, she kept farting. Like, she'd bring Mom some ice chips and then fart. She'd check Mom's blood pressure and fart. And Mom says it was unbelievable because the nurse never even said, "Excuse me." Meanwhile, Mom's regular doctor wasn't on duty that night, so Mom got stuck with a cranky kid doctor she and Dad nicknamed Doogie after some old TV show or something. They didn't actually call him that to his face. But Mom says that even though everyone in the room was kind of grumpy, Dad kept making her laugh all night long. When I came out of Mom's stomach, she said the whole room got very quiet. Mom didn't even get a chance to look at me because the nice nurse immediately rushed me out of the room. Dad was in such a hurry to follow her that he dropped the video camera, which broke into a million pieces. And then Mom got very upset and tried to get out of bed to see where they were going, but the farting nurse came in and put her very big arms on Mom to keep her down in bed. They were practically fighting because Mom was hysterical and the farting nurse was yelling at her to stay calm, and they were both starting to scream for the doctor. But guess what? The doctor had fainted right on the floor. So when the farting nurse saw that he had fainted, she started pushing him with her foot to get him to wake up, yelling at him the whole time, "What kind of doctor are you? What kind of doctor are you? Get up!" And then all of a sudden, she let out the biggest, loudest, smelliest fart in the history of farts. Mom thinks it was actually the fart that finally woke the doctor up. Anyway, when Mom tells a story, she acts out all the parts, including the farting noises. So it's so funny. Mom says the farting nurse turned out to be a very nice woman. She stayed with Mom the whole time, didn't leave her side, even after Dad came back. And the doctors told them how sick I was. Mom remembers exactly what the nurse whispered in her ear when the doctor told her, "I probably wouldn't live through the night." Everyone born of God overcometh the world. And the next day, I'd lived through the night. It was that nurse who held Mom's hand when they brought her to meet me for the first time. Mom says they had told her all about me. She had been preparing herself for seeing me. But she says that when she looked down into my tiny mushed up face for the first time, all she could see was how pretty my eyes were. Mom is beautiful that way. And Dad is handsome. Via's really pretty too, in case you were wondering.